There's something about Tuscany. The way the light hits the vineyards, the smell of fresh pasta in the air, the slow rhythm of life that makes you forget the world for a moment. If you love travel stories that feel like memories, subscribe, and let's keep wandering together. When you think about Tuscany, the first things that come to mind are probably wine, rolling green hills, and endless vineyards under the golden sun. And yes, that part is exactly how you imagine it. But what surprised me the most wasn't just the nature, it was the food. Because in Tuscany, every meal feels like a memory in the making. The pasta tastes richer, the pizza feels more authentic, and even the simplest ingredients somehow feel special. And then there's San Gimignano, a small medieval town with stone towers, narrow streets, and something completely unexpected, one of the most famous gelato shops in the world. We tried the world award-winning ice cream there, and I'm not exaggerating when I say it might be the best I've ever had. The streets are narrow, the stones are worn from centuries of footsteps, and everything has that warm Tuscan color that looks unreal in the afternoon sun. But what I loved most is that it doesn't feel like a museum. People live here. Locals chat outside small shops, laundry hangs from windows, and the smell of fresh pizza and baked bread drifts through the streets. You walk slowly, not because you have to, but because you want to. You look up at the towers, you pause at little viewpoints over the countryside, you sit on the steps with a gelato in your hand, and just watch the world pass by. From gelato in a small medieval square to one of Italy's most iconic piazzas, Tuscany keeps surprising you. Because Siena isn't just beautiful, it's alive, with traditions, colors, and stories that go back centuries. Siena might actually be my favorite city in Tuscany, but it's almost impossible to choose. There's just something about it. Maybe it's the way the streets curve unexpectedly, revealing little hidden corners and creative angles that make you stop every few steps. Every turn feels like a new perspective, a different frame, a different story. The buildings have that deep, warm terracotta color, and when the sun hits them, the whole city seems to glow. It feels dramatic, but not in a loud way, more in a quiet, confident way. And then you arrive at Piazza del Campo, and it's just stunning. The shape, the space, the feeling of standing exactly where history happened. You can almost imagine the Palio horse race, the crowds, the centuries of tradition that still live here today. It's not just a piazza, it's the heart of Siena. What I love most is that Siena feels authentic. It doesn't feel like it's trying to impress you. It just is impressive. You walk up and down the hills, you get slightly lost, you find small cafes tucked between stone walls, and everywhere you look, there's history. Real history. It feels powerful, artistic, and deeply Italian all at once. Piazza del Campo isn't just beautiful, it's one of the most important historic squares in all of Italy. It was designed in the 13th and 14th century when Siena was a powerful and wealthy republic. At that time, Siena was actually a serious rival to Florence. The city wanted a central space that represented its strength and unity, and that's how Piazza del Campo was born. Its unique shell shape isn't random. The square is divided into 9 sections, symbolizing the Council of Nine, the group of leaders who governed Siena during its golden age. They were responsible for much of the city's prosperity, art, and architecture. And right in front of you stands the Palazzo Pubblico, Siena's town hall, built in 1297. It's still used today, which makes it even more special. But what truly makes this piazza alive is the Palio. Twice every summer, this peaceful square transforms into a dramatic horse race track. The Palio di Siena is a tradition that dates back to the 1600s. The different neighborhoods, called contrade, compete against each other, and the entire city becomes emotional, proud, and completely united in competition. So when you stand in Piazza del Campo, you're not just standing in a pretty square. You're standing in the heart of centuries of rivalry, pride, art, politics, and tradition. After all the movement, all the stories, all the centuries packed into one day, we needed a pause. And Montecatini is exactly that, a pause. Elegant streets, soft evening light, thermal spa history, and that calm atmosphere that makes you slow your steps without even realizing it. The streets are wide and elegant, lined with boutiques, little cafes, and beautiful historic buildings. In the late afternoon, the town slowly comes alive in its own quiet way. Older couples walk hand in hand, dressed beautifully. Tailored jackets, silk scarves, polished shoes. There's something so charming about that. It feels timeless, like elegance never went out of style here. Montecatini was all about calm and elegance. But then we drove toward a place that the whole world recognizes in a second, Pisa. And yes, it's exactly what you think. Pisa is wild. The moment you arrive at Piazza dei Miracoli, it hits you. People everywhere, cameras clicking, tourists leaning, jumping, pretending to hold up the Leaning Tower. It's chaotic, creative. I've never seen anything like it. Everyone is trying to get that perfect, unique shot. Some are upside down, some are pretending to push the tower, some are crouching at impossible angles. It's like the whole square has turned into one giant moving photo shoot. But the magic of Pisa is that you don't have to stay in the chaos. Just a few steps away, the crowds thin, the noise fades, and suddenly it's calm. You can sit on the grass, admire the cathedral, and really take it all in. For me, that contrast is what makes Pisa unforgettable. On one side, a whirlwind of people and creativity. On the other, quiet, beautiful history. Thank you so much for watching this Tuscany journey. I hope you enjoyed every moment of it. If you love discovering beautiful places, subscribe for more travel stories and adventures. And I'd love to hear from you. Share in the comments. Next stop, where should we go?